Hi you guys, welcome to my video, The Predators of the 90s. We have R. Kelly, Jay-Z, and Russell Simmons. Let's get into it. Predator number 1, Robert Sylvester Kelly, was born on the south side of Chicago on January 8, 1967. He dropped out of high school to perform as a subway musician. He earned his big break when he won a $100,000 prize on the television talent show Big Break. R. Kelly is an American songwriter, actor, and record producer. In November of 1993, R. Kelly released his solo debut album, 12 Play. Thanks to largely the single Bump and Grind, the album was eventually certified 6 times platinum. At the same time, R. Kelly began a career producing records for other artists. He produced and wrote the entire debut album of teenage pop singer Aaliyah. In 1995, his album R. Kelly sold 4 million copies. Soon after, his single, I Believe I Can Fly, topped the charts and won 3 Grammys. Kelly released a series of multi-platinum albums in the 2000s. R. Kelly released a multi-part hip-hop opera called Trapped in the Closet, which he released to radio stations in short portions. The final portion was officially released to the public in the spring of 2010. Now, everything this man has done, I'm kind of looking at it from a different lens now that I know what I know. Now I'm feeling like he probably had them little girls trapped in the closet. I'm sorry, y'all, but that's just how my brain works. R. Kelly has released 14 studio albums, 5 compilation albums, and 3 collaboration albums. In addition to his 3 Grammys, Kelly has won dozens of awards, including several AMAs and BET Awards, and many Billboard Awards as well. His most recent albums, Black Panties and The Buffet, were released in 2013 and 2015, respectively. He has also participated in 12 official tours around the world, spanning from 1994 to 2013. R. Kelly sexually abused Aaliyah when she was 13 or 14, witness says. The witness, a former backup performer, said she walked in on the singer as they were engaged in a sexual act around 1993, 1 year before they were illegally married. Now, the witness is a woman by the name of Angela. She said she first met R. Kelly around 1991 when she was about 14 or 15. The singer began to have sex with her while she was underage and a student in high school, she testified. Angela recalled that Mr. Kelly often pressured her and several others who worked around him as backup performers to have sex. She told jurors that she first met Aaliyah shortly before the young singer began to work on her first album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. With Mr. Kelly, Aaliyah traveled on a tour with him to get her feet wet in the industry around 1992 or 1993. Angela told jurors it was then during that trip that she saw the two engaged in a sexual act. Aaliyah would have been 13 or 14 at the time. On a separate stop in Washington, D.C. during the tour, Angela recalled that she and a group of other girls, including Aaliyah, were reprimanded for breaking the singer's instructions. Angela told jurors that they had made a trip to a 7-Eleven convenience store for food, but that Mr. Kelly had told them not to leave their hotel. When he had learned of their disobedience, he demanded sex, she said. Robert told all of us we would have to put out, she said. It was dues time, she added, explaining to jurors that the singer often presented having sex with him as a form of paying their dues. Angela said that she refused the singer's advances while Aaliyah was one of the girls that he was addressing. She said she was not aware whether the two had sexual encounters immediately following that incident. If people would have protected Aaliyah, so many other girls wouldn't have gotten touched, a former boyfriend, damedash, said during the second portion of the Lifetime series. Aaliyah was like the sacrificial lamb for all of that. Several witnesses during the trial have testified about other aspects of the encounters between Mr. Kelly and Aaliyah. The minister who married the two spoke publicly for the first time earlier this month, telling jurors that he was asked to give his word that he would not discuss their 10-minute wedding ceremony at a Chicago area hotel. And one of the singer's former tour managers, Demetrius Smith, testified that he bribed a government employee for the fake identification for Aaliyah as Mr. Kelly's inner circle began to plot the marriage. The union was annulled in 1995, and Aaliyah filed to have details of their union expunged from her record 2 years later. Her subsequent albums were produced without Mr. Kelly. Okay, now, at the time of R. Kelly and Aaliyah's relationship, R. Kelly had this album called 12 Play out, and on the album, there was a song called It Seems Like You're Ready. Y'all don't come for my singing, I'm just gonna sing the lyrics. It goes, it seems like you're ready, seems like you're ready. Girl, are you ready to go all the way? So anyway, that's how the song goes. It's basically a song about breaking a young girl's virginity. And now we know who he was talking about in that song. Now, around the same time, Aaliyah had her album out, and yes, that is R. Kelly in the background, called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. This next clip is R. Kelly and Aaliyah doing an interview.
Because everybody seems to think that y'all are either girlfriend or boyfriend or cousins or let's get the record straight.
Well, no, we're not related at all. No, we're not. We're just very close. He's my best friend.
Yeah, cool.
Now who found who?
In the whole wide world. Because really, it's not like we work because we're like really close. So it's like just fun, really. We just hang out, sing.
I don't ever remember working.
Yeah, it's just like fun.
Where'd the title of the album come from?
She's running around the studio one day with her friends. Talking a lot of smack. Talking about age ain't nothing but a number, girl. I'm like, what you trying to say? So immediately I heard the song, you know, and I called her back 15 minutes later. Told her, check this out. So we cut the track right then and there.
And for the record, you are how old?
That's a secret.
Now, if you recall, R. Kelly said that he didn't recall working while they were in the studio. Now we understand what he meant by that statement. If you also recall, R. Kelly also said that Aaliyah was running around the studio with one of her friends saying age ain't nothing but a number. And he was like, oh, really? You know, so it's like he took that like it was a clue that she was saying that it was okay for them to be together regardless of their age difference. You know, I remember all of this because if Aaliyah was still alive, we would be the same age. I remember when her song used to come on, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, you know, we would all be like, yeah, because you with that old ass man. And, you know, we would be talking about like, where are her parents? Like, if I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm hearing stuff about R. Kelly and Aaliyah being in a relationship, I know the adults in her life knew about this. And it's like, you know, now that I'm grown, I understand that people do all kind of stuff for fortune and fame. Okay, fun fact. Aaliyah has an aunt by the name of Gladys Knight. Yes, Gladys Knight is her aunt. So why couldn't Auntie help her with her music career? Well, because she has an uncle by the name of Barry Hankerson, who was the producer of R. Kelly's album 12 Play, who introduced her to R. Kelly, decided he was going to help her with her music career. And, you know, R. Kelly produced Aaliyah's album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. So yes, Uncle Barry introduced his niece to R. Kelly, knowing he was a child predator because they already worked together. He already produced R. Kelly's first album, and they've been on tour together and everything. And he already knew that this man liked young girls. So Basically, like Dame Dash said, Aaliyah was the sacrifice. I'm thinking, where was her parents in all of this? Maybe they thought that her uncle was going to look out for her, but really and truly, he probably was just looking out for himself. I'm pretty sure R. Kelly made those business deals very sweet for access to his little niece. So sad. Okay, so anyway, Aaliyah eventually moves on with child predator number 2, Jay-Z. Now, after R. Kelly finished breaking her in, if you know what I mean, in comes Mr. Jay-Z for his turn. Now, all of these men are running in the same circle. They're making music together. They're making videos together. They're touring together. They're having conversations about this young girl. As soon as one finished with her, in comes the next. Then she, started dating Dame Dash. I mean, it just literally looked like this little girl was just being passed from one man to the next. I grew up in the 90s. At that time, it was very common for men to pass women to their homies when they finished with them. Predator number 2, Sean Corey Carter, was born in Brooklyn, New York on December 4th, 1969. He was raised in Marcy Houses, a housing project in Brooklyn's Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood. After their father, Adnis Reeves, abandoned the family, Jay-Z and his 3 siblings were raised by his mother, Gloria Carter. Reeves would later meet and reconcile with Jay-Z shortly before dying in 2003. Jay-Z claims in his lyrics that in 1982, at age 12, he shot his older brother in the shoulder for stealing his jewelry. Along with rapper AZ, he attended Eli Whitney High School in Brooklyn until it was closed. He then attended nearby George Washington Career and Technical Education High School with rappers Notorious B.I.G. and Busta Rhymes, followed by a stint at Trenton Central High School in Trenton, New Jersey. Though he did not graduate, according to his interview and lyrics, he sold crack cocaine and was shot at 3 times during this period. Jay-Z literally quantified exactly how big of a drug dealer he was in the 80s and 90s. He said that by the time he started Rockefeller Records, he had $900,000. He had just enough capital to put with Dame and Kareem and to kill the game. He also told us that he procured and sold 92 kilograms of cocaine at one point. I guess procured means he cooked, how they cook up the cocaine in the movies and stuff. Yeah. Jay-Z and Aaliyah started dating when she was around 16 or 17. At the time, Jay-Z was a up-and-coming rapper / drug dealer. Jay-Z is 11 years Aaliyah's senior, so at the time if she was 17, that would have made him 28. So yes, these men are all around the same age. R. Kelly is 55, Jay-Z is 52, and Dame Dash is 51. If Aaliyah was alive, she would be 41 years old, so Dame Dash is 10 years older than her, Jay-Z is 11 years older than her, and R. Kelly is 14 years older than her. Jay-Z seemed like he was just crazy over Aaliyah. Like, if you really look at these pictures, he is literally holding on to her for dear life. Like, yeah. He really, was into her. Yes, Aaliyah was that chick. A lot of men wanted Aaliyah. I even heard Hill Harper say that he had a crush on her. Hill Harper is an actor. He's an adorable little man. I love him. Okay, so eventually Aaliyah dumps Jay-Z and moves on with his best friend, Dame Dash. I know this was a crushing blow for Jay-Z. Like, she literally broke his heart into pieces. Aaliyah reportedly began dating Dash in 1999. They were together until her death in a plane crash in August of 2001. Okay, so this is a statement from Dame Dash. It was just a situation where Aaliyah was the type of girl that would give you a shot, Dash explained. She didn't care what people thought or whatever, so she'll date you and be your friend. You might end up in a friend zone. A lot of times, that's what happened. Okay, so after Aaliyah broke Jay-Z's heart, he eventually started pursuing Beyonce. But at first he was, trying to act like he wasn't really checking for her. As you can see, he was like kind of hugging the other two girls. It's game, but it works. So Jay-Z started dating Beyonce when she was 17. She was almost legal, but not quite. So once Jay-Z started dating Beyonce, he was very private when it came to their relationship, due to what he had been through with Aaliyah. With Aaliyah, he was very out there and expressive with how he felt about her. As you've seen in the pictures, like he would hold on to her tightly. But you didn't see that in the beginning of his relationship with Beyonce. You never, really saw them together. They would try to act like if they was together, they would try to act like they wasn't together. They would, walk separately, like they would have space in between them. Like you would never see them all hugged up the way he was with Aaliyah. So Jay-Z got with Beyonce and pretty much mimicked what Dame Dash did when he got with Aaliyah. But I'm going to talk about that later. So Jay-Z got with Beyonce and both of their careers just skyrocketed because he saw what Dame Dash was able to do once he got with Aaliyah. So Jay-Z pretty much took Beyonce and revamped her entire career. He definitely, made her more edgy and, transformed her music and, just made it honestly so much better. Maybe overly sexy, but hey, that's what sells. So Jay-Z was pretty much accused of corrupting Beyonce or turning a good girl bad. So I believe that's why he probably signed Meg Thee Stallion, because she was already naked and twerking before he signed her, so he wouldn't be accused of corrupting any other young women. Beyonce and Jay-Z have been together for more than 20 years, an absolute eternity in the world of celebrity relationships. For the most part, it has been 100% blissful in the public eye, at least, except for a minor hiccup in 2014 when TMZ released footage of the elevator fight that broke out between Jay-Z and Solange. He had to do something really bad to make her go off like that. In an interview, Dash claims that Jay-Z had deep feelings for Aaliyah and tried very hard to date her. They did date. He lying. They dated. And he came right up from under Jay-Z nose and snatched Aaliyah. Okay, so Dame Dash was that type of dude, the I'ma steal your girl type of dude. We all know those dudes that just love to play games. That was Dame Dash. I didn't mean to fall in love with Aaliyah. She was just that cool, he added in a November 2019 interview. Dash also claimed that he didn't mean to get in the way of anything when it came to her potential romance with Jay-Z. I didn't know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying. He was going hard. Okay, first you said you didn't know that Jay was trying to holler at her. Then you said everybody was trying to holler at her. So which is it? And then you say that Jay was going hard. So you knew that they was together. Like Damon Dash and Jay-Z were the best of friends. He knew they was together. He intentionally stole Aaliyah from Jay-Z just because he knew he could. And he probably did really fall for her after the fact because, like I said, Aaliyah was that chick. Okay, Aaliyah really did make the right choice when she decided to dump Jay-Z for Dame Dash. Jay-Z was still a drug dealer and Dame Dash made his money legally. Plus, when she got with damedash, he invested in her heavily. Her glow up was out of this world. Her videos were beautiful. I mean, they were really doing a damn thing. Like, they were the first Beyonce and Jay-Z before Beyonce and Jay-Z. Okay, so don't feel too bad for what Aaliyah did to Jay-Z because not long after Biggie passed away, Jay-Z starts dating Lil Kim. Now, Lil Kim was Biggie's girlfriend before he married Faith Evans and after he married Faith Evans. And after Biggie passed away, Jay-Z starts dipping in Lil Kim. And Jay-Z and Biggie were best friends as well. Like they even went to high school together. So obviously, during the 90s, they kind of like to keep it in a family. Like all of these people are friends and been knowing each other and they all dating the same people. It's like, God, y'all like each other that much? Like most people feel like that's breaking the code. Like, I am not dating my best friend's ex. That's just nasty. Ugh. Obviously, in this music industry, they don't feel like that. Any and everybody is up for grabs. Last but not least, predator number 3, Russell Simmons. Okay, when Kimora was 17 and still working on finishing up high school, she met 35-year-old hip-hop entrepreneur Russell Simmons. He had become smitten with the 6-foot-tall model after seeing her on a runway during New York City's Fashion Week, and had sent the young model a large bouquet of flowers, so large that it took 2 men to carry. She was impressed, but Tyra Banks, who had also received flowers from the mogul initially, warned the model, Kimoraleesimmons, to forget about the self-professed and well-known womanizer and playboy. Well, anyway, Tyra had warned Kimora to forget about Russell because he was a known womanizer and playboy. Now, he trying to get with both of them at the same time, knowing they're friends. But Tyra was like, no, like this dude, he's not a good dude. But obviously Kimora, seen dollar signs and was like, you know what, hey, maybe he'll be good to me. Well, anyway, to make a long story short, Kimora and Russell married in December of 1999 and they divorced in January of 2009. Together they have 2 daughters by the name of Ming Lee, 21, and Aoki Lee, 18. Okay, so anyway, you have these successful black men running behind these little girls when they got grown women out here dying to find a successful black man to date and eventually marry. But, unfortunately, most men like them young. Okay, so in this clip, we have predator number 2 and 3. I did not refer to damedash as a predator because by the time he got with Aaliyah was of legal age, and I have not heard of him being with any underage girls. He's just in this video and in the thumbnail because of his relationship with Aaliyah and Jay-Z. These men are wealthy. They're living in mansions. They're driving Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Aston Martins. They hopping on private jets. They're in yachts. I mean, they can swoo any young girl. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine being 16, 17 and you have this wealthy man trying to get with you? Child, you will be out of your mind. Can you imagine being that young, having this wealthy boyfriend take you on trips, buy you expensive gifts, like all of your friends are jealous? I mean, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine being picked up in this vehicle? Crazy. So Jay-Z and Russell Simmons did go on to marry their prey. So I guess that makes it okay. I don't know. But, they didn't just use them. They did marry them. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to say. And the parents, I guess they allowed these grown men to date their daughters because they felt like that man could potentially be a blessing to their daughters' lives, at least financially. So this concludes my video. If you stayed all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.